Alright, and away we go to number 18. 18? 19? 19? 19. Because we did 18. So here we are in the Macross Quarter briefing room. The Shadow team are filling in the public team about what happened. Let's have a quick refresh for us. That was when they met the other two Gundam Wing Boys in the desert. They didn't really do anything. Oh, and then they went to Britannia and were attacked by Oz and Britannian troops. No, didn't go to, they went to the WLF and were attacked by troops of Britannia and they went to Britannia, were attacked by Union and Oz, which meant that Britannia not only gave permission for them to be there, which was unusual, but also permission to go in and fuck shit up, which was us. So that wasn't brilliant. And Zex heard about the tall geese, so he wants that. And then the other one was the Daigun. They met the other Dankuga, the red Dankuga, and then the final Dankuga. And everyone was like, what's that about? And he was like, can't tell you. And they were like, oh, tell your boss, enough secrets. He's like, alright. And then he turned around and was like, yo boss, they say enough secrets. Basically everybody talking, oh, and the mysterious AT pilot where Kiriko went and chased the lady, and there was the red shoulders, and it was all bullshit, and he got blown up, but then they built him a new robot, because that's the point of those, they're garbage. Oh yeah, and they met Eureka, who was in a box and was like a super top secret military thing they had to get, and he's renting Thurston and he sucks, and he's like, I'm gonna protect Eureka, fuck you, I'm shitty, and the nerve ash is real and could speak, and it's like, nah dude, fuck you. But during all this gossiping, mostly the thing that pops up is the 21st century security people aren't particularly super happy about being under the same banner as, actual terrorists like Celestial Being and the Black Knights. It's fine, the lady who's going to bring it up. Oh yeah, and Marina Ishmael, the head, the Princess Queen of Azadistan, when Setsuna had his big moment where he's like, yeah, but I'm those people that your country's really racist against, I'm gonna be Gundam, and then Hiro was like, no Setsuna, you aren't Gundam. I'm not Gundam? No, so you must become Gundam. Become Gundam? Buh? And that was pretty much how that went. Dankuga Nova and Red Dankuga? Yeah, and the final Dankuga. There was a whole bunch of Dankugas running around. It was awful. But yeah, and now they're going to bring it up that they don't like it. And they're like, so, about that thing where we're going to be hanging out with terrorists, that's no good. And they all agree that it's it's a bit of a worry, except Takagi at the top there is like, I don't get it! Aren't we all heroes here? No matter what people call us? And they go, well, I mean, when we were split up, you could play hero all you wanted, but when we're going to move as a single unit, we might be branded terrorists by association. So, that you might not be allowed to be the big hero man, buddy. Like, but, two master. And, Sumara, yeah, and, it comes up that Sumeragi is out meeting a friend. And everyone's like, wait, what? The celestial being lady, like, out meeting friends? Are you serious? Like, that's what you guys do? And Crow's like, I'm neutral on this. Don't, like, just keep me out of it. But, celestial being, like, they all have lives, or at least did before they became terrorists, and, the Zex's crew don't pry into, like, Shadow's Zex's at least, don't pry into each other's secret business. But, Lock-On, Ayama, and Crow form their own little circle as the unlucky dudes. And Lock-On says that one who, he's like, if you can't take the heat, then I don't think you should be forced to hang out with Zexis. If you want to fight, you should fight, and if you don't, then stay out of it. And Tieria, like, sort of agrees, but in a really shit-headed way where he's like, we can't afford to have anyone who doesn't have the will to fight following us and holding us back. And then Akagi's like, we were just talking, we weren't saying we weren't going to give it our all, buddy, jeez. But Akagi has been conscripted to run Daiguard at a company fair. He's got to show it off. Damn, Hakahen was the first Super Wars game you've been in? It's actually really good, and Saiseihen is also good, in my opinion. It's just, like, stupid easy. But Super Wars games are in general anyway, right? But welcome to the goddamn anime. But this is scenario 19, shared ideals, or everyone's justice, or whatever. So basically, this town's been attacked by dimensional monsters, and Tanagawa here says that we'd rather have heterodynes, because they only show up in Japan, at least, right? But we're delivering aid packages from the Japanese government, and while we're in the area, 21st Century Security Company is giving Daiguard some publicity. So we go, look at the heroic robot that works for you, we're definitely not terrorists. And Tieria's stupid lecture has got Ibuki down, but Akagi and Ayama, no, like, they're up and at him. But she's like, I'm on board with the Zexes, I'm just worried about celestial being, mostly. Like, even Duo and the Black Knights are mostly freedom fighters. Celestial being is just a big old bunch of terrorists, though, right? And all anyone has to go on about them is Aeolia Schoenberg's message about ending all war. And what does that even flipping mean? But there's that thing where we fight against all threats to the world, and going by the Shadow Team's stories, that means terrorists. So they may be, like, bad dudes, but they're still humans, and pointing weapons at them, like, doesn't feel right. Ibuki signed up to fight monsters and stuff like that, not other dudes. When, here's Kathy, yo, Daiguard, 10 kilometers away, Heterodyne is showing up, so, go get them, kids. There it is, boom, nailed it. And it's the same one as the one from their first fight. And it's nowhere near Japan! Awful, don't like this at all. Anyone's like, oh, stop the goddamn thing. Zexis are on the way, Daiguard alone. We got 5 turns, and I'm sure when we get reinforced, everybody else will get reinforced too. 5 turns to clear the stage. Ooh, boy! Well, the beach gives ever so slightly more defense, right? So, let's go hang out in the sand. Body slam this jerk bird. So here's Akagi. Daiguard will take on a Heterodyne no matter where it shows up. Let's protect this town. You tell him, Akagi. Akagi. Bonk. Got him. Look at it. Awful. It's weird. Starfish, whippy, bird garbage. Damage to the actuator. Don't worry, we got it. mean, yeah, fingernet it. Launch a big goddamn net on it. That's all about fighting bad dudes like you. I mean, we've got really high prevail, but we're definitely losing this damage race currently, right? Not a big fan. Turn 2 begins and the WLF show up with their genocidrons. And they're gonna sneak up. But you can tell it's the WLF because they're all about mixed unit tactics and they got a little bit of everything. And they start trying to capture the city while there's still civilians living it. Awful. Kage wants to take the Heterodyne and the WLF on, and he promises to not attack the cockpits. But can Daigard really do that? I mean, it's pretty shitty. Like, I don't think it can really, like, ignoring having to deal with both of the Heterodyne and the WLF, I don't think Daigard can really miss cockpits. But they gotta go for it and protect everybody. And that's it, that's all we got. But I will do the 25% only damage. And let's go beat up this ground fatty from Valorant. So, I'm not going to say there's such a... okay, here's a go. I'm not going to say there's such a thing as good terrorists and bad terrorists. But you're the ones who are willing to hurt innocent bystanders. Akagi. Let's go, Daigard. We Saudi can fight for peace. We will fight for peace. Yeah, Daigard's super good. Like, he starts off with no armor, as befitting being made out of actual, literal paper mache. But he is a pretty good super robot with 3 pilots who don't have a lot of SP, but they can cast the spells they need to. Ammo-based finishers, so it can go all out with its other moves. And also, it can resupply energy. Like, it's just really good. Like, it's a really aggressive and powerful support fella. Or rather, it's an aggressive, good unit that can also support. But then Daigard just gets upgrades like every 8 or so stages throughout the game. Gets new attacks all the time, a constant influx of gradually improving its armor and stuff. It's good. It's good. The only downside to it is its terrain rankings are just trash for anywhere that's not land, so it's really terrible in space. But that's what A adapters and stuff are for, so you do have to you have to give it an A adapter so it can fight people in the air properly, because otherwise its moves are all shitty. I got this one, alright? Poor Akagi. But, and Akagi's terrain rankings, like, as a pilot are bad, so you have to spend PP on that. But he does get a lot of PP for free because of the salaryman skill. Like, he gets 10 every time he levels up, I think. And, like, every 10 enemies he kills, he gets an extra bundle for free. I'm pretty sure we'd only be taking 10 damage from these guys anyway. Or at most 40 anyway, right? But I'm more worried about the big heterodyne nerd, because he actually still hurts. I'm gonna bust through. Damn it, he got this! Poor Akage, he's a good boy. He's a good boy who tries hard. But up till now, I'd never been splattered by a robot 3 times my size. It also does have the really good rocket punch. Good jump, full power, donk. Yep. Alright, we can't. Oh, these guys moving and not attacking? Awful. Just no good. Pure trash. You don't need to do that to that dude. I'll show you power! Okay, so we're halfway through Upper Veil activations. Pretty good, pretty good. Try and dodge it. You got a 41% chance of getting hit, so Daiguard can dance on the head of a pin. That was close. Poor Leo. Why would you ever get in a Leo? Like, if you're not a direct member of Oz, why would you ever go anywhere near a Leo? Wouldn't you be like, I'll take anything else that you got, even that head is just a gun. So terrorist leader gets mad, and he's like, stupid robot. And he orders the Genocidron to make a mad dash to the town. Yeah, Genocidron. So over it goes. Kagi notices some civilians and Nakahara right in its path. And then, because she said that the terrorists were bad, they're going to show up and save her. Here's Lock-On, and his Haru is like, Lock-On, enemy target, and he's like, oh, I can't get a clear shot, because the Genocidron will fall on the civilians. So, he's going to do something stupid. What are you doing, Lock-On? And he just rams it out of the way. And then shoots it. Everything alright, people? And then he tells Nakahara to get the nerds away. Saikyo, lock on, Saikyo. No, it's thank you, lock on. No, just thank you, lock on. It's like, no problem, just doing my job. And then everybody else shows up. Trider, Kiriko, Exia, that nerd, the Gurren crew, the Barasta, Alto, and I guess the Wing, and Cakes. So we show up. And it's like, alright everyone, let's go stop that thing. There's a goddamn heterodyne, who would have thought? And Sumeragi isn't here because she's still missing. But we're like, let's deal with these awful terrorists. Yeah, Daiguard, nice work everybody. Gotta deal with the heterodyne and the WLF. Alright everybody, let's do it. So we'll analyze that guy. So he deals 10% less damage and takes 10% more. Drive over here. I think that gets everybody. Yeah, that gets everybody. I don't know why Saka's in the fucking sea, but there you go. Yeah, like, Crow's got this... The problem with Crow is that he's in the middle. Like, he's not quite dodgy enough to be a true real style, and he's not tanky enough to be a true super. And so he ends up just getting the shit beat out of him a lot. But then that's solved by like both his upgrades, where you then go, I'm gonna make him a real boy. Like, you commit him to one direction, and he has a much better time. And then in Z3, he's like actually just bad compared to everybody else. Because he's super built into his gimmick of being the really good support attack guy. Boost break. Okay, we go to there. These rude boys are fine, just stomping over there. Target lock on. What did he ever do to you, buddy? Don't shoot him. Poor guy. Like, I think the best real unit, it's got to be Kiriko, right? Like, it just has to be. But I think close second is Callan, if she counts, but she's actually just like the world's tiniest super. And the X is really good, but his ace bonus is worthless because he doesn't. There aren't any enemies that fit the bill in this game. It's like 4. But next game, like, half the things you fight fit it, so he ends up being really good. Hey fanboy, how you doing? You can accelerate, you can yell. That means with the... Oh my god, why is our accuracy so bad? Bonk, got him. Yeah, that's what I like. That's my favorite thing to do with him as well. Like the more times I played, I did one time where I did him melee Superman, and one time the ranged Real Man. And while the ranged Real Man is objectively better, Punch Man's more fun, right? It's just cooler, right? It's just cooler. I prefer it also. Yeah, like somebody asked me for like what good mecha shows are on Crunchyroll, and I looked and I'm like, they've got like 7? I'm sure they got more than that. And they do, they just haven't got them tagged correctly. Eat this. Yeah, like I thought, like I remember them announcing they had God Mars. And I was like, why would you get God Mars? It sucks. But they just then don't have it labelled for some reason. It's turn big boy. Yeah, and there's the new Voltron as well, where they're in the right colours. You didn't have the dude in the red jumpsuit in the blue lion, like in the original, because it's fucking stupid and shit. Me. Yes, they got God Mars, Shin Mazinger, and Giant Gorg. A dark version of Eldoran Saga thingy. I'm trying to think what that could be. Giant Gorg does not suck. Giant Gorg's good as hell. He's also a really cool robot as well. Which is why I hope he manages to make the jump from the handheld to the console ones. Oh yeah, I went to look up Bobby as well, didn't I? I'll look up Bobby right fucking now. It hasn't gone. Oh my god! All right. Let's rocket punch. Iron Fist of Justice, a rocket punch. Love Akagi. Okay, let's look up Bobby, because I don't want to be misgendering Bobby. Okay, good. Like, I remembered him, like, being, like, using male pronouns, but he just does that thing that, where, because he's gay, he sometimes goes, I'm a woman. Your terrorism is hurting civilians. I guess with your bullshit ambitions, you learn to ignore a few sacrifices. But those losses can never be replaced. You're gonna learn that the hard way today. Look, with your terrorism's hurting civilians. My terrorism's just fine. Enemy inside. Enemy inside. How you doing, Sakaiji? How you doing? I've been playing the Dragon Ball Fusions, and it's good. I finally was allowed to fuse, and I fused with baby Goku. Even though I think, like, it's not the best fusion I can do, but it's the one that does the most damage. And now I've got an alien lady in my team who can give him a speed buff because he's always slow. Oh, Bokurano's the anime you forgot the name of. If you should read the Bokurano manga. The Bokurano anime is alright. It just isn't Bokurano. And people like it's tonally completely different and the ending's completely different to the manga, and the dude just went, yeah, I didn't really like the manga, so you know, I changed it. I was like, well, why did you ask to make it if you just didn't like it? And he's like, money. But like the manga has got some real good character moments in it that aren't in the anime because the tone's completely different. The manga is extremely dark, but with a hint of hope. Yeah, like at least he was honest. Like he was just like, didn't like it, so I changed it. Why? Why'd you make it? Money. You know, they pay me. It's like the dude who did Bottoms and the Laserdyne, Takahashi. He's like, he went to Scotland for a convention thing, and people were like, oh, you really like mecha, huh? That's why he's such a prominent designer. He's like, nah, I don't really, like, I'm not that fussed about it, really. I just, you know, it's where the money was at the time. Gundam was popular, so it's where they, like, it's the people who are going to give you the most money, so I did it, and I mean, it pays the bills, so I stuck with it. It's alright, I guess. Don't hate it, don't love it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with deviating from the source material, but then just going, I don't like it, so I'm gonna just do it completely different for no reason. Let's go get him, Bobby. In the like, there's one bit in the Bokurano, like the guy who did the Bokurano manga also did the. He also did Shadow Star, which is also really fucking dark, and like you look at it, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be like a weird Pokemon or whatever, and then it's fucking not. Like, holy shit. Like, the dude who wrote it, just like children and monsters. Like in Bokurano, there's a scene where one lady gets to be in the. She gets to be, like, it's her turn to be in charge of the robot, and like they've had all these conversations about the morality of it and what happens to him and the deal of it and like everything about it. Like, is it right that they do it? Is it like, should they do it? Do they have a choice? Blah 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 blah. And then she gets in charge and she just goes, like, fucking runs away from the fight, tears the roof off the building, and just kills a man. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And she's like, that dude, it was my boyfriend and he cheated on me. And I caught him, and he's a fucking asshole. And now I'm in a giant robot and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So eat shit. Like Shadow Star, if you look at, like, if you just Google Shadow Star, you'll look at the front cover and you'll go, oh yeah, it's a cute little monster, and it is a cute little monster, and there's all these like little cute little fellas. And then it gets progressively darker until there's like a later one, like there's a later chapter where there's a girl who gets who like first holds like somebody else at knife point with a knife, like with a knife to their throat, and then there's another one where she just like cuts open another girl's belly with a broken bottle. Because children are monsters. Is Lock On 2 a clone? Lock On 2 is not a clone. Let me do a whisper at you. Oh, can I? Can I not do that? Am I not allowed to whisper? I guess I'm not. I guess I'm not. But he's not a clone. We'll get to that dude's deal when we get to it. Because I'm trying to avoid spoilers for first timers. I remember Louis C.K. did a little bit about how children are fucking awful. And the like he said he's got little girls and they're ruthless. He'd much rather have 5 sons than one more little girl. And he says he went children are monsters, and he says how he went to his friend's house and they were sitting and they were talking. She's like, my son's a dickhead, oh, he does my head in. And then the boy comes in from playing in the garden, just walks up to her, she's got this cup of coffee in her hand, and he just opens his hand and dumps sand in her drink, and then just fucking walks out. And he's like, there was no sand around, there's no sand in their garden, there's no construction sites nearby, no idea where he materialised this sand from, but he just fucking walked in and poured sand in his mother's drink because fuck her. And he was like, but that's fine, once that's happened, it's done, it's over, the horror's over, it's done. And then he says, but his little girls, he says his little girl, his youngest, was playing with a Barbie doll, and the head came off. It broke. And she started crying. He goes up to her and he comforts her and he goes, no, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's fine, don't worry. And she was crying. And he said he would have expected her to say, can you get me a new one? That was the response he expected, and he was ready to say, maybe for your birthday or for Christmas. But instead what she said through her tears was, can you tear off my sister's doll's head so it's fair? And he was like, that's fucked up. Like, I didn't even think of that. Like, that didn't occur to me as a grown ass person to be that vengeful and spiteful. It's like, oh, I broke my thing, can you break hers too? Not, can I have a new one? Just, yeah, make her miserable as well. And he's like, little girls are fucked up, don't mess with them. And yeah, Dankuga Nova as a show is not very good. It would have been better if it went full like Gravion Dry, Gravion 3, because Sandman's in it. But no, he just did a thing, and it's just not very good in the end, because it's Avari, and that's what Avari does, is things that aren't very good sometimes when he's in charge. The simulator is easier than this. No, the simulator is harder than this, rather. The one that's actually an insult. Sandman would make any anime better, even Seed Destiny. I mean, you probably would. Could you imagine like any event to see Destiny happening, and then Sandman comes in and goes, "You are all being extremely unbeautiful." Yeah, the plot of Dankuga Nova gets thrown out in Super Wars game. You know what? The plot of regular Dankuga gets thrown out in Super Wars games. I think all but 2 appearances of Dankuga in Super Wars end with Alan as the main villain, because he's actually interesting and good, and also voiced by Norio Akamoto, so he's also got a really good and cool voice actor. And they just have that dude as the main antagonist for Dankuga related stuff instead of going the one step bigger to the Muge bullshit in the red dimension. They're just like, nah, that sucks. We'll just leave it at Alan as the mastermind. Fabulous Alan in his beautiful eyeshadow. We only get that Cougar because of Sarah's if only. Fucking love that lady's face. She just looks like a fucking alien. It's like, no, it's eyeshadow, don't worry. She just looks weird because it's 2D. If she was a person, you'd go, oh, I figured it out. Don't worry. Okay, then we move up. You don't fight anybody. That's fine. Dan Cougar is actually invincible at this end, so that's fine by me. Both Dan Cougars from the same timeline? They are connected, but in the show it's a weird connection. In the show they sort like their boss, Fog Sweeper FS, is voiced by the man who is Shinobu in Dan Cougar, and his initials are also FS. Yeah, Shinobu Fujiwara. So like so they sort of hint that he is there, like Shinobu's their boss, sort of. But also they don't go all the way with it because they never commit to anything in that fucking show. Except shitting on Shikuya, which makes me laugh a lot because he's fucking balls. My favorite bit of Dan Cougar Nova is when they're like, we have painstakingly recreated each of your bedrooms to make you feel at home in while you're here at Dragon's Hive. We've got Ali's incredible race car driver supermodel mansion bedroom, incredible. You've got Johnny's studio apartment recreated perfectly, including all the posters and magazines, constantly updated for all his latest subscriptions. Kura's pokey little place, fine. Sakuya, it's just a fucking room with a cardboard box and a newspaper because he's a homeless dude. He lives out on the street, and it's like you couldn't have just given him a bedroom. Like you just had to give him a wet cardboard box and some newspaper, like he's a hamster or some shit. Yeah, Kura's got the armory because she's a fucking gun nut. Loves guns all the time. Do he even have any nerds? Okay, yeah, he's a nerd. And then cardboard box newspaper, and he's like, oh, fuck me. I mean, like, the Dan Cougar Nova people think a lot of weird things are good ideas. So, them giving the lady wanting to shoot one of them an armory, that ain't so bad. Like, that's not even top 10 of their weirdest ideas. Yeah, she's a narcotics cop. Which is, you know, it makes sense why she's into guns, and like her, like she's like originally you think she's picked because she's an incredible shot, like she's the best marksman in like all of Japan, and regularly wins international competitions also. What? They just their flying bean in their cape would just come up and beat me from his tum-tum. I mean, oh, it's still this dude. fuck him up. Like, Johnny is just sort of everything. He's sometimes an agent, sometimes just a weird entrepreneur guy who just does weird shit. Now he's a motorbike racer and car racing supermodel adrenaline junkie. Kurara is a narcotics officer and super good at guns. And Sakuya is a homeless man with no appreciable skills. I think Macross was left out of V because Dollar came out when they were working on the game. Maybe? Maybe? But I honestly think it might have been left out because they wanted to release it other places, and Harmony Gold's thing is outrageous. So rather than deal with that, they just thought we just won't have any Macross. Fuck it, who cares? Maybe we'll get this shit sorted out by the time. Oh! No, looks like Discord wasn't the answer in the end. That's piss.